Well, hello, I'm Sean Clark, Venture Unknown creator, founder, all that good stuff. When I want to get out and about, I take Bruiser here, 1996 80 Series Land Cruiser. We're going to get deep into Bruiser today. First thing everybody notices with this truck, it's Raptor coated. I did that myself. The paint on this thing was oxidized and beat up, and so a little bit of prep work. When there were no mods on it, wasn't too bad to get the Raptor liner on there to do the job. A little under $500, and I had been able to change the color and give it a really indestructible paint job. So that was step one. After that, of course, gotta have rock sliders. You don't want to get into your rock sliders. These are from White Knuckle, really popular with the 80 series. They are not welded to the frame, they're bolted to the frame, which I prefer, just for sakes of maybe having to take them off to do any kind of work on it or anything. I have been able to take them off before. Just recently put the cut snake fender flares on. The original flares were half falling off from the get-go of buying this truck, and ended up getting these. These are from a company in Australia. They can be a little pricey, but on the VU First Sale Friday, a gentleman was selling it to me, sold it to me for $100. So these are a new addition. I do like the flares. It keeps all the mud from flying off the side of the truck. I love the fact that it still kept the shape of factory. As you can see, my Delta bumper in the back extends with this hoop that JC Customs, Mr. Jacob Campbell made for me. Really, really important mod on any Toyota. You get into this quarter panel, it's not any fun. The shower enclosure here from Taruka. Really another great company to support. Mr. Daniel is heading up Taruka. Three of my favorite features about the Taruka is it has a floor, it has a roof, and you can't see through it. Where some of them, you get a silhouette of who is what is in there, and that can be a little unsettling sometimes, but I do enjoy the Taruka very, very much. Also on the side, got to have your faithful axe. That's always a plus. Never know, never depend on the chainsaw. Always have a backup. Got my Morimoto lights for my camp lights. They're the two bangers from Morimoto Lighting. Also got my ditch lights here. Also Morimoto. Love them. Really good to have ambered or any ditch light really on the mirror there. The brackets are about the only brackets you can get for an 80 series for ditch lights is from Yodatech. Yodatech is a company that made that bracket. I was really super happy to find those guys. Front is, I love the look of the 80 series. It's a classic look to me. The first thing that you'll find almost every 80 series has the ARB bull bar bumper. It's a really good bumper for the price. Under $1,000, you're fully covered. And I love having the winch where I can see my spool when I'm spooling my winch. This little window is important. The winch actually is mounted to the feet outward, and that's really good because you don't have the feet going down, not creating any kind of shear. So that's another good feature of the ARB bumper. Factor 55 Haas, fair lead, and Factor 55 flat link closed system for that. Badlands winch, just recently unfortunately burned up my Warn. It went 4 hard years and did a lot of work, but when it went out, I decided to go with the Badlands. Good reviews on that. Everybody seems to love it. So far, so good. That's 12,000 pounds I have now. Most important lights on the whole truck is my Morimoto big bangers here. I did something a little crazy, and I've got a spot and I've got a combo. So in a way, I have a combo setup that I don't have 2 spots. I can turn night into day with the Morimoto big bangers in the front of the truck. Just recently upgraded my GMRS antenna. That's a Big 5 overland. It's a massive thing, but I like it, you know, overlanding. Got my high lift jack mounted to this thing with high lift mounts, just in case. Gotta have the high lift for certain recoveries. So on the co-pilot side of Bruiser, one of the very first mods I did, the most unsettling one that a lot of people hate, is cutting the hole for the snorkel. No, it's not a safari snorkel. It's a $100 eBay snorkel. Does the same job that an expensive one would do. It has saved me probably from hydrolocking this engine quite a few times, doing some of the trails that we do. OBS awning, 180 degrees. Really got a good deal on that from a fellow VU member. Thank you, Nate. Shout out to Nate. Really, really great. The wife loves it. Very important mod to keep for those rainy nights at camp, rainy days at camp. And then, of course, the wheels and tires. No other than my BFG KM3s for Bruiser. These are 35 by 12.5 by 17s, wrapped around Black Rhino 17 by 9s, and with a -30 offset. Bead locks, true bead locks. Was really happy to have that because I have known to roll a bead off a wheel. Tent is also a Taruka, just as well as like the shower enclosure over there. I love it. It's like a clamshell, but it scissors up and gives you a little bit extra room up there. Again, great company, great guy running that outfit. So Bruiser's butt started out as a beat up old factory bumper back here, and a couple years ago, Venture Unknown graciously gifted me this Delta Vehicle Systems rear swing out, fully armored. I chose to have, it's a modular bumper where you can choose what kind of module you want on it. I chose the spare tire carrier, of course, and got to have your whittle wider on the back because, you know, overlanding. And it's a decent bumper. My favorite part about the Delta is the latch system. You could open with one hand and you're in. And of course has the lockout pins that drop down automatically. Really well made, thought out bumper. Some of the accessories that I felt necessary to attach to this Delta bumper is JC Customs bracket to hold my 11-pound propane tank. That's running my stove at times, but more importantly, my Jolka hot shower is running off the propane. Carries a few recovery stuff back here. I have my shovel, my kinetic rope back here. Got my Inca 4x4 trail rated bag with some more soft shackles and some straps in the bag. Nothing like having a garbage bag attached to your truck. Leave it better than you found it. Pick up your trash. This side got a high lift jack stand and a winch extension. This table right here, I just strapped this thing on here. I love this. This holds my diesel heater. I simply take this thing down like this, put the diesel heater up there, and we are off to the races camping in the winter. Where's all the weight? What is in the back? Everything and everything. Everything and anything. I have the much debated JL 10W7 sub in the back that weighs about 100 pounds because you got to have your music. I've got these drawer systems made by Ironman 4x4. I've got the dual and then a single that I just simply bolted to the top. Alucab fridge slide with the tilt for us short people, and the ARB 69 liter, 73 quart fridge, I believe it is, dual zone fridge freezer. Really, really good. Been doing the job so far. Other things in the back is where this is the utility drawer, keep all my tools. I have my Artlist 46 tool roll. Just anything and everything when it comes to tools and things that I may need on the trail. This here is always the kitchen with the dishes, bowls, stove, forks, spoons. And this is the pantry where we keep all the snacks and the good stuff that keeps us fed on the trail. And last but not least, I'm running 3 batteries in this truck. One of them's in the back is a 100 amp hour dual lithium battery that I wired up 2 12-volt plugs to charge jackeries, charge whatever on a regular 12-volt. This Anderson here runs my diesel heater that sits on the table over here, and this guy's just USB to power the lights in the tent and camera equipment and such. And then we put this 8-gang aux beam switch panel in the back to run auxiliary lights, camp lights, tent lights, and the water pump. Really good addition to the truck. All right, when I'm piloting Bruiser, I have a plethora of screens in here that can be quite distracting, but also I believe very needed. One that I really love is this backup camera mirror, so I can see what's behind me because it's so packed back here I can't see anything. iPad, running mostly Gaia full-time, on the trails, Google Maps, off the trails. And of course my phone here, on everything is on RAM mounts, which is a great product. I love putting everything on. This RAM mount, InReach 2, I believe, has saved my butt a couple times, and this one is for a camera mount. Love being able to pilot this truck. I'm very fortunate and blessed to have it, and keep me guiding us down the trails. Endless fun for everybody. This Molly panel, I cannot remember who we got it from, but it was really for a 100 series Land Cruiser. Mr. Micah Baxter turned me onto this company. Michelle bought it, it fit. I do love it. I keep radios up here, microphones, camera mounts. My winch controller is always close by and handy. Flashlights, spare radios, so great storage space to have that up there. And then we got a trauma pack up there just in case. What you can't see is one of the most amazing suspensions, the third iteration of suspension. I started off with an old man Emu. I think it was maybe a 3-inch lift, put a little bit heavier springs of OME in it, and ultimately was still sagging, still didn't quite have the lift I wanted, so went over to Dobinson's MRAs, 3-stage, 3-way adjustable suspension with the heaviest spring they make in the back and the second to the heaviest spring they make in the front, giving me an overall rough 5 inches of lift. Love it. Other things that's under there is double cardan drive shaft, very important when you lift a vehicle this tall, and Tom Woods rear shaft. Gotta love Tom Woods drive shafts, really great product. And put the triple locked or dual ARB lockers front and rear with a twin compressor up under the hood to fire it all off when stuff gets thick. My favorite thing probably is the fact that it's a solid axle rig, and it's one of the few SUVs, other than of course Jeeps, that still have the solid axle. So that's probably my favorite thing about it. My biggest quirk is maybe fuel mileage. With it being as big and heavy as it is, I'm in the single digits with fuel mileage. Biggest thing I would change is probably be able to fit 37s on it, because I do tend to drag my diff across some rocks. Now that I'm lifted like I am, I probably could fit it with minimal modding. One thing I wish I knew before building it is probably more about the springs and the weight, and planning your build out a little bit more. I've been through 3 iterations of suspension and wish I'd have done my research a little bit more and known what direction I was going before I started building the suspension. If money was not an option, I would probably put a Mercedes diesel in it. Why? Fuel mileage and torque. This thing is quite overweight, and it would get me up the hills and maybe even let me tow a trailer every once in a while. Things still left. It seems that you never are finished. I feel like I am getting close, but I would like to put belly skid on it. Delta Vehicle Systems makes a belly skin for this thing that is quite pricey, that I believe that would be very beneficial to have under there. Boy, oh boy. If money wasn't an option, I was gonna build a dream rig. I still would go 80 Series Land Cruiser. I think, honest to God, it is one of the best off-roaders there is on the planet.